Okie dokie. I think. Hopefully everything's working now, probably. Oh, right. Let's hope the my team car isn't too much of a shitbox. Yay! It will be. Fine. Especially as I've not driven it in a week and a bit. I've got used to driving nice cars that have grip and things. This will be fine. Drown my sorrows in a beer. Everything will be fine. Okie dokie. Right. Where did we get to last time? I think we have some money to spend. A little bit left. We haven't got any R&D points left because I'm hoping we've got some in development, which we do. All minor at this point on, but that's fine. Let's see. See what we can do. How's the engine looking? Not convinced we've really got many choices now left to switch out to during practice sessions to really save much of what's left of the engine. I think we might just have to start taking some penalties fairly soon. Gearbox may hold out. The control electronics definitely will. The turbo might. Other than that, I think we're looking at least 4, maybe 5 new parts, probably before the end of the season. Because we've got 4 races left, and I feel like it's going to be a stretch. It's just knowing the right time to get rid of them, really. Hey, Demon, how you doing? Have you guys started your D&D yet, or are you still new worlding, or you wait? Ah, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, all good, thanks. All good. Yeah, just hoping that this isn't going to be too much of a jarring experience, having been racing with Sam on the Aston Martin co-op recently. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too much of a kind of return to shit form in a much shitter car. But we'll see. It's fine. The car has been getting better, and we'll see how it does around. I think we've got the USA next, so we'll see how it does there. Right, I think the seat is all in line. Move the mic around a bit. There we go. Cool. But yeah, I'm just weighing up the options now of when's a sensible time to start taking penalties for replacing parts of the engine. I mean, I can do one more race for sure, and then it's whether or not I string it out and try and save it for Brazil, all the new engine parts and the penalty, and just start from the back and see where we go, and then use that sort of fresh engine components for Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Or do we change at the end of USA? I think we'll probably just have to see what the wear's like. I think I'm not going to worry too much about switching parts out between practice in USA and Mexico, because I think we're going to end up wearing through parts anyway. But if it means we get to the end of the US Grand Prix and we need to replace a whole load, then at least we'll have fresh parts for the remaining 3 races. Feels about right. No teammate to save himself. Exactly. No, Sam couldn't make it this evening. So to be fair, we have done a couple more Aston Martin career mode races offline in the last week or so, just to move things a little further on. We've had some really good results as a team. We've got our first podium. Yeah, I think we've done maybe the first 4. Yeah, maybe the first 4 races now. So hopefully by the time we get around to playing it again next time on stream, there'll be some more developments to share, and hopefully a better, faster car. We'll see. I think we've got a couple of R&D bits coming along before. Yeah, so this is where... So we've spent an awful lot of money in the last couple of races in my team, mainly on like facilities and things. So I think we'll hopefully see some of that coming next time.
Some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
What failed? Okay, that looks alright. Oh, we've got a couple of unprotected parts from next year's... That's what we had to switch focus onto, wasn't it? We had to start switching on to next... Rather than building new items for this year, we had to start building or start opting to protect upgrades that we've done this year for next year, which I think is probably the wisest move now. We've only got 4 races left. We might get 1, maybe 2 upgrades in before the end of the year, but I think probably it's now just worth using all of our points to preserve some of the work that we've been doing this year already. So that's the part that failed. Okay, well, that's fine. I think we'll just start preserving and protecting parts that we can. So we've got a couple more there in chassis. Aero looks like it's all sorted. Hey, Haxo! How you doing? I'm on Spain practice. Ooh, nice. Nice. Is that for your career mode, Haxo? How's it been going so far? So we've got 3 more in chassis to do, 2 in powertrain, and then I'm not so worried about durability side of things. Although it'd be nice to maybe hold on to one of them, maybe the gearbox, because that did wear through very quickly. But it was fun. We'll see. We'll see what we can do with points. Let's do time attack as well. Yeah, career mode in the ice block. Yep. I say it's not. I'm not looking forward to this first practice session, to be honest, Haxo, based on the Aston Martin model that Sam and I have been driving in our co-op my team as well, because it's just night and day. Really is. But we'll see how we do. Right, we've got to do 2 laps here in the... Must be the Mercedes safety car. Oh, it's the AMG GTR Pro, which I think it's similar to the safety car model, so it's fine. 5 minutes is the time to beat. Just change the camera settings here, so we're actually in the cockpit. Yeah, there we go. Not this will help. Does sound good from within the car though. Within the cockpit. Oh, it's just like a floating tank. Back end's definitely dropped out there. Oh, keep it on the track. Oh, it was sliding around there. Right, so for a fight, I mean, we need to be under 2.5 minutes, don't we? I think that might be a bit of a push. Got a minute coming up for the last sector, but this is quite a twisty sector again. Whoa! God, it's sliding all over the place. Get back on the track, otherwise I'm going to lose the time. We need to find some time from somewhere on the second lap because we're going to be about 10 seconds short, I reckon. About 3 seconds over, I think. Improve, find 3 seconds from somewhere, we might just make it. Oh. Nice. Real workout on the arms. Oh, good to purple first sector though, so maybe we are making the time up. Whoa! Just save the back end there, I think. Pull it in. Don't want to get another track limit this morning. Corner. See where we can get to. Ooh! I was going to let go of the wheel just then, just adjust my chair, but look at it. I don't know if we can do it here. Oh! It's a lot of. Oh! It's square me under brakes. Tried to brake really late, more in line with the F1 line, but it's just impressive just how much. I mean, these are, you know, supercars really, high performance, and they just got, you know, it feels like they've got no grip compared to the Formula 1 cars. But see how we go. Thank you, whoever, for the, oh, Iceni for the Fornania. We'll send it across the line. Fornania for sure. Come on, hold in. Whoa! I don't think we're going to make the gold time. Might make the silver. Yeah, there's the time. Oh, caught the back. Well, I don't know if my driver was celebrating before the line earlier. It looked like he was, but what was the actual time? It was a silver. What was it? Was it 5:04 or was it 5:02? As he started celebrating, I don't know. He took his hands off the wheel and was. It was 5:04. Yeah. Okay. I mean, no. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That's fine. That was. God, my hands. Aha. It's the only thing about this wheel. Not that I would change it because again, the majority of what I play, being former gold or nothing. No, silver. We'll take silver this year. It's fine. The only thing, and again, I wouldn't change this wheel because, again, for the majority of Formula racing, or even like GT racing on Assetto Corsa, this Formula style wheel suits it really nicely. Because actually, you're not having to do more than probably what a 90-degree turn. You're very rarely going to get more than need more than 90 degrees. Because actually, the Formula 1 cars don't have that much of a turning lock on them anyway. But yeah, then when you suddenly go to that and you realise how little you're moving the steering wheel, it's like, well, no wonder the car's not turning in for a road car. But hey-ho. Right, so yeah, it was cable assembly that failed. That's fine. Ooh, interesting. Towards the... I mean, I never know if the weather report it's giving here, if it's dividing it into sectors as such of the race based on the amount of time you've given. Like, for example, here... So I'm just adjusting my fan. There we go. Like, for example, here you've got 3 different kind of weather reports, which I guess you could associate to qualifying 1, 2, and 3, but the race is split up into 5. How? I don't know if it's got... But anyway, we'll assume that... I guess the alternative is that it could be based on the current team's weather forecasting capabilities, whereas as we progress over the season, maybe we'll get more indicators. Maybe that's it, I don't know. But it looks like either we're going to have rain, but there's coming up close to a 50% chance of rain at the end of the race, or could be midway through the race, certainly the latter half of the race. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that could be interesting. It could certainly shake up the strategies a little bit. We could either see, okay, do we pit early, or find the right opportune moment to pit and move on to inters, or can we just set rain on all the time? Don't do it. Don't do it, Iceni. I must admit, it'd be cool if maybe at some point there was like a Twitch integration where you could have your Twitch chat maybe decide. I know we kind of do it already, kind of informally, in terms of choosing the setup for the weekend and everything else. But maybe it'd be quite cool. Maybe if you could just like randomize online lobbies or like creative lobbies. I don't know. It'd be quite cool if you could do stuff like that. I did wonder the other day. I was thinking maybe it'd be cool if you could have like I've seen in more recent games, or like how they've done in the Baldur's Gate integration. Maybe even having Twitch chat like vote on what they want to happen. Like maybe you could have voting to say is there a safety car or chance of safety car or an increased chance of safety car, or even an engine failure or a part failure on another car, or even on the driver car. That could be quite fun. I know Iceni would be voting for wet weather, dynamic weather shift all the time, but that's fine. That's fine. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. So maybe who knows? Maybe that'll be something that we see in the future at some point. Are you sure you don't want a mechan? So to be fair, Hacks, I did when I was looking at the Fanatec stuff before I bought, I did look at a couple of different reviews for some people saying although they were doing a lot of Formula racing, they wanted to be able to do some GT racing as well, and they ended up buying the GT world because they thought it was a good mix between the two. But to be honest, like looking at the model and the shape of the Formula wheel that we have here, it's actually not far off the McLaren GT wheel. I think the McLaren GT wheel, the grips sit ever so slightly higher, and I can't remember if it's slightly wider or slightly less actually than the Formula wheel. I know the paddles on it are slightly different, and you can get the magnetic. I can't remember if it's dual clutch, if it's dual paddles on those by default or not. But it's I did wonder about like maybe one day if I was to go and get like a second like just standard round wheel, but I don't. I think the majority of like cars that I want to race will probably fit the Formula GTS style. Hopefully, we'll see. Tire pops on Bab. Yeah, see, this is it. I mean, you could definitely have like increased tire wear or sudden tire failure. That could just be an interesting way to. I don't know. It could be a different game mode, or you could even have it like integrated with career mode options and see. Maybe it doesn't need to necessarily say this definitely will happen. Perhaps it increases the likelihood of an event like that happening, maybe moving up to say 75%, or something. So it makes it much more likely, but there is still a chance that it won't. So it still adds a little air of mystery into the game, and also timing. Because I guess if you know to expect it, you might just, if your Twitch chat just said, "Oh, I'm going to pop their wheels," then you just dive into the pits before it happens or something. I don't know. But dodge the flock of geese. Exactly, I've seen. Random animals suddenly appearing on the track midway through. All sorts. We'll see. Right. It says weather looks fine here. So let's go through to practice, and we'll see. How much of this we can get through. We want as many points as possible. Try and get a general sense for the track in this car as well, and then we will. Go racing. See what we can do. I need to remember, I have turned off the pit lane entry assist, so I need to remember. I need to remember to press it and slow down. So, let's see. Right, race strategy. Track acclimatization, let's do that. But we can actually do flying laps out in this, which is good, so let's do that. You don't have to worry about warming up tyres. Cool, and let's change the camera. TV5, okay.
Okay, your goal is to get through as many corner gates as quickly and precisely as possible. Remember to activate your DRS in the DRS zone as well.
Well, that sucked. Let's try that again. Come on. Bloody hell. Lost the back end before the corner. Missed that. Didn't get nose turned around. Whoa! Putting power down, let's drop the diff. Oh, that's much better. Can actually flow through the corners now, rather than fighting the back end. Oh, missed that. I was looking at the stream stats on the screen. That one I just didn't break.
DRS zone coming up. Get ready to open it. Distance is on your MFD.
Down a bit. Oh, I broke myself. All attempts like on that. That's it. Get it slowed down, turn the nose in. It's quite funny with these direct drive wheels. I don't know if you find it as well, Haxo, but you know as soon as you're carrying too much speed into the braking zone of a corner, because as you're turning in under load, under the right amount of speed when there's grip, you should be able to feel the resistance coming back from the front. Bloody hell, what is it? The rears are just absolutely smoking. But yeah, if you turn in and you've got the right speed, you'll feel the resistance as you turn in. So as I'm turning into these corners here, I can feel when I turn in that there's an appropriate amount of kind of resistance being pushed back, but when you go in too fast, you'll just be able to turn the wheel. There'll be very little resistance, which again is just a representation of the fact that you're carrying too much speed and there's not enough grip being picked up by the car, which is helpful. There we go, that's beautiful. But it's, again, just finding that fine line between where you can get a little bit more straighten the car up early and then get the power down right so that you can actually carry the speed through or minimise speed loss. There we go, that was better. And actually got the car turning in, but I just need to remember around here, especially in this car, I need to get to 4th gear before I really put any power down, or hold 4th gear if I can, because especially I know what's sending me off. It's that corner curve. Final corner. Taking just a little bit too much curve. And putting my foot down here as I go past that gate. See, that was fine. I didn't put my foot down too early on the corner. Oh dear. But it's just so funny because, again, in the Aston Martin, I could probably get away with doing that in the middle of 3rd gear, maybe as I was building the revs up to get into 4th. Clearly, where this car is at the moment, with how the differential's set up and also how it's handled on this car, I don't know why it seems to be a bit laggy through those corners. It's seeing some frame rate drop, at least. Feels like it in game. How's it looking on stream? It's lost nothing, or next to nothing. Hey, Scotchborn, how you doing? Cargo Vroom indeed. That's all right. How goes it? I have actually switched my streaming encoder back to NVEC because I haven't used it with OBS Studio since I made the switch from Streamlabs. And when I was using Streamlabs before, the extra CPU or the extra like input impact on the GPU and CPU from Streamlabs just meant that I couldn't really use the NVEC encoder on more GPU intensive games, because I'm currently my GPU is my bottleneck essentially. I've been doing a fair bit of benchmarking the last week and a half, and I've even been playing with some overclocking on my CPU, although I've now dropped that back down because it's just not making much of a difference, and getting the core voltages just right has proved to be a little problematic in that I've managed to get it completely stable on literally every single game bar F1. So I've managed to get a 5 GHz overclock running on my i9. But it's why did I go from the bottom? But yeah, on F1 for some reason, after a couple of races where it's run absolutely fine, it's then just thrown a hissy fit and just locked the machine up. But yeah, the CPU's got plenty of overhead on it still. But I think with me streaming off of the CPU previously, it was just starting to hit the top end of the CPU limit rather than the graphics card. So I have a 2080 Ti in my machine, but the biggest issue that I have with it, or the biggest issue it has with my system, is that I play on an ultra wide. So it's a 3440 by 1440, I think, something around that realm. And it's just purely because of that size and because of then the relevant graphics that I'm trying to run on it at that size. It just falls apart. I've not had it struggled with a lot of things on the ultra wide. Even like when I'm not streaming, it's the 20 series and the 10 series even before it really struggled. I did do a benchmark with Lionheart's 3090 right when he first got it actually, and that obviously ran things a lot better because there's a lot more graphical compute power with it. But I'm gonna wait and see what the initial kind of benchmarks are on the 4080 when it comes out, and then see about maybe just upgrading to that, because although I don't have a PCI 4 enabled motherboard, they will run okay on PCI 3, and the benchmarks that I've seen is about a 4 to 5 FPS drop between a PCI 3.0 slot and a PCI 4.0 slot, so doesn't really seem to matter too much at this point in time. I think mainly because most like games and architecture aren't really able to make the most of it, and especially with what Nvidia's kind of enabled with their direct storage compute directly between the graphics card and the system, rather than having to run everything through the CPU first and queue it up. Yeah, it's a nice problem to have. Yeah, exactly. I mean, fortunately, like, because I was looking at the weekend, all right, what would it cost me to basically rebuild my machine now if my CPU is the bottleneck? And of course, that's a much bigger overhaul. I'd need a new motherboard, new RAM, possibly a new AIO cooler, because I think the one I've got, they don't do an expansion bracket for the 1700 LGA slots for the CPU if I stick with Intel, or in fact even if I went to AMD. But that would be obviously a fairly, the only thing I wouldn't be swapping out would be my M.2 drives and my GPU and power supply at that point. And I think for an equivalent i9 on the latest like 13th gen Intel system, it was just shy of £2,000, I think, to replace all of that. And that's because, again, I'm not running DDR4 memory, sorry. although DDR5 is here now as well. So I'm a little ways back in terms of hardware generations, but I want to make the most of my i9 while I've got it. And to be fair, for most things, it's absolutely fine, and that's what the stress testing proved, is that at the moment, for example, it's sat at between 55 and 75% utilization across everything, but there's still a good 20 to 25%, if not a little bit more, overhead. The GPU, actually, even with the NVENC encoder on, it's interesting. I guess it's part of how the RTX cards have been set up by NVIDIA, but normally I'd see about 95% utilization on my GPU running F1 2022 when I'm not streaming. Streaming with the encoder, it actually looks like it drops the full utilization down to about 90%, which I guess is where it's actually, again, drawing a little bit of compute power from the graphics card into the separate encoder module on it to run the NVENC encoder, which is good. It balances things out. What it does mean, though, is potentially less frame rate or frame drops overall. But overall, things seem to be running fairly well with this. But I thought, again, as I said earlier, I hadn't really tried moving things back to the NVENC encoder since I switched to OBS Studio, which saw quite a substantial reduction in my overall CPU usage when I'm streaming. So that was the other thing. I was thinking, well, if my CPU is potentially bottlenecking as well as the GPU, maybe let's just bottleneck one rather than both. So yeah, it looks like the graphics card's holding okay for now. But as I say, I think that the likelihood is I'll probably look to jump up to a 4080 once I see the reviews on that, just to get a lot more overhead on it. And then again, hopefully from a CPU perspective as well, that will also drop off because I'll be able to utilize more power from the GPU, because I don't actually need an awful lot more. I think I get, although when I'm streaming I lock the frame rate at about 60 FPS, my ultra wide's a 120 Hz monitor, and I get close. If I turn things down, I'll get close to it. But I'm not necessarily running everything maxed out. I'm running things, I think, kind of medium, high, or between medium and very high. We should probably go out and do you just pause it when I'm maxing out rather than just gibbering away. That would be more sensible. But yeah, I think if I unlock it, I get between like 80 and 90 frames most of the time. So I'm talking about maybe a 30 to 40 FPS. Yeah, that's the gap that I'm trying to chase. To at least try and match my refresh rate, so that would be a slightly nicer viewing experience for me personally when I'm playing. Although again, streaming wise, I don't mind dropping it down for that to give a more stable kind of stream for that. But yeah, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what the benchmarks are. I certainly see certainly the early benchmarks from things like the 4090 have obviously blown things out of the water, and I'd be jumping 2 generations of tech as well. So I'd hope to see a fairly significant improvement for ultra-wide gaming, but I appreciate it's a bit of a niche in the grand scheme of things, because they're either looking at 1080p gaming, 1440p gaming on standard widescreen monitors, or then the jump to 4K. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Again, with things like Black Friday coming up, there'll also be some good deals, I'd imagine, on the previous generation of cards. There's already been quite a substantial kind of sale price added in for the 30 series since the 40 series were added in. Oh, I didn't change tyres. Excellent. Thrown wide there. Down our lap time as well. This might be short-lived. I'm not sure how much we can make up under ERS and DRS, but we'll see. We didn't lose too much. We lost a little bit at the top of the hill on turn 1, but gaining time back, we're gaining time back. I'll use ERS until we're in the safe zone and then see if we can hold it. Beat that. Whoa! A little snappy through there, but I think we've gained enough now. Yeah, we've gained half a second.
Great lap, you nailed exactly what we asked for. Keep it up.
Okay, that feels alright. Oh, we have got all of the 3 objective points as well, that's good. So if we can not fluff this sector. Then I think we'll be alright. We do seem to be getting back about 20% ERS in this final sector of the lap. So I think we've got plenty of overhead here. We shall see. Heavy on the bumps, but fortunately we've got enough positive delta to have a little bit of a sloppier lap. Still holding 7/10 up. 8/10. We're a second up there. Cool, yeah. On old tyres as well. Getting that corner right. I think it's getting better now. I've been trying to look at what I can do at the top there. I mean, it'll be difficult with the race start because everyone kind of barrels into it. It's quite a heavy braking zone anyway, but I've been trying to kind of almost get the car so that I'm not applying, or apply heaviest braking first, then ease off, with the intent to try and just be easing off the brake pedal as the car's kind of reaching the top of the hill, the plateau as such, so that it's almost kind of rolling around that final corner before I start shifting and putting the power down again. That seems to reduce a lot of the wheel spin, which is good. Same in that corner really, I'm kind of just letting it roll in. Still actually applying a little bit of braking as well, before I then try and either shift early into 3rd or 4th to get the power down. But I mean, this feels comfortable right now, so we'll have to see what the quali pace simulation's like, and also how we do in qualifying, see what everyone else's pace is like. But feels like the car could be a bit more competitive here.
Exactly what we asked for. Keep it up.
Actually, we can jump back to the garage because we have completed what we need to complete, which is good. We might get a chance to do a quali. What do they reckon on tyre wear? Just under. Average fuel burn is underneath as well, so 24.94 is what they reckon for our. I don't know if we'll get to do a quick one here. Let's see. See if we get to do one at least. How we got left? We're on the soft, so.
Okay, don't worry about tyres. Just give it everything.
Okay,
This
we'll get
test,
2
we
laps.
want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's
Maybe.
pace.
we should get 2 laps if we don't have any mistakes. Okay. Try keeping it in 3rd there just to perhaps give me a little bit more, but I think I was a bit slow coming out the corner and getting the power down, so we're underneath the lap time. But fortunately the softs have given us a bit more grip around there, although we've floated really wide coming out of the S's. And we've spun it. Okay, that's fine. Let's carry on around just to see what else we can do on the softs. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. There's the temperature going into the rears. I mean, I can drop the diff down a little bit more, but we're pretty much already maximum there. Yeah, I can definitely stay in 3rd with that corner, I think. Just turn in a smidge later. What did they want? They wanted a 136.5, which I think we can get. And not this time round. It's fine, we'll dive into the pits. Oh, in the wall. I was going to try and practice coming into the pits, but that didn't quite work. Not bad. Quali P13 at Spain. Mame got P22. Nice! That's good, Axo. So have you had... Oh, is it not going to... Oh, it's going to bring me to pit. That's good. Have you had some upgrades in between then, or was it just practice and the feel of the car? That's good. Really, really good. Nicely done, sir.
The session has drawn to a close.
I think we'll try and do the qualifying in practice 2, and then we'll try and skip ahead because I think we are pretty much where we need to be. That. And then I can use practice 3 for just finishing off the 1 point that we missed in track acclimatization, and then anything we don't get in quali pace. Got four tyre sets to use up, so we might as well just do as many here that we can as needed until we get a good feel of the car, good pace. Not any upgrades that would pull that out. Maybe better flow of the track. Oh, decent. Oh, in my sunglasses. That's not going to be fun into the final corner. Never mind. I just can't hold the speed round here with the that line in the S's with these softs at the moment. time on the straights. So I think we're just losing out on a little bit of pure pace at the top end, maybe. Can't really afford to get my foot down any earlier. Oh, don't lose it. Nice. Oh, a bit too much curb.
Okay, that's the test over, but I'm
That was a
afraid
138.1, and I think they wanted a 136.5. So yeah, we'll have to come back in and see. Let's have a look at the. I don't know what the setup's on this. I guess it's high speed. Yeah, it's probably up 1. Oh, no. Let's try dropping the tyre pressures right off. Do I have a setup? Yeah, I started putting a couple. Ooh, I did have one. Okay, well, let's try loading that one, whatever that is. Although it doesn't look like I changed the tyre pressures on that one. Slightly less rear wing by the looks of it. Okay, well, let's try that anyway and see if it makes any difference on the new set. If not, we'll try bringing it back. We'll leave it on that set and we'll just try reducing the tyre pressures a bit more, see if we can add a bit more grip. Try bumping the differential back up maybe a smidge, but I'm just...
We might see some rain. ETA about 15 minutes.
Just a little cautious about how much power I'm putting down coming out the corners, but maybe I'll just have to do that myself. Bump up a smidge. Very briefly ahead there going into the corner. Oh, it's just back end again, but that was much quicker through there. A bit tidier as well. Oh, for a brief moment we were gaining time back. Okay, we're about half a second down, so it's better. Oh, wide there though. And it's been a sloppy second part of the lap. Shame, but we're keeping it under a second at the moment, deficit-wise, so... Oh, I should have lost the lap there. Oh. Well, you say it wasn't much help, Mark. It was, because we've gone a second faster. And we're only just off, and I think we can make that if we don't lose it up the top end. So let's try one more. I think what we'll do is we'll tweak the setup again and we'll drop tyre pressures all the way down and see if that can just give us a little bit more where we need it. It's interesting, in some of in that S bend we had a much better sector. In the corners as well, and in the braking zones. The braking zones before the corners seem to have some good scoring. But you can see we're losing time down the straight and the hill, the climb up to the hill, down to the hairpin, and on the main straight, which is going to be straight line speed loss. So there's not a lot more we can do about that, or coming out of the corners and getting on the power earlier. But there's only so much more we can do there. But let's see. We'll give it one more go on these and see what we can do. Oh, that's horrible. I don't know what I was doing there. Lost it. I knew that was going. Okay, well, I think that's about all we can get out of the car.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
We'll I think we'll go on to quali and get this done and dusted. I think we'll just see where we come out. I think we're lacking a bit of straight line speed. And again, it's just a little bit twitchy in the kind of higher speed corners, which I think looking at the current upgrades on the car is probably about right compared to her driving one of the standard car models. So we shall see what we can do. Damage. That's fine, though. What did that give us overall, though? 3, that's fine. So we can finish that off in...
We've had to spend time repairing the damage to the car.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's just push this along then. See at the end of it if we can get on to a winner in the race.
And with the cars now over the line, let's see our top 3 again. Sainz, Ricciardo,
interesting.
And the Flying Finn. What an incredible practice
I can't imagine that we're going to hold those times
here,
in qualifying, but we'll see. I guess we're not miles off, so that's a good thing. But look, and then quick practice. Right, we're done there. Track optimization, let's get that done. Bosh. Don't fail me now. Body pace. Let's do these. Lovely. Okay, it's maximum points at least for R&D. I'll see if I can actually get a couple of R&D bits going before we progress into quali. That'll be good. Dum, dum, dum. Here we go. So got some more bits to protect. So we've got enough actually to adapt a couple more parts. So it then reckons that as well. Cool. Okay, that's good. We're only 1, 2, 3, 4 parts off, which technically we could do in a race in 1.5 race weekends, if we don't worry about any other new upgrades. So that's fine. And then at least that will... So yeah, aerodynamics is covered for next year, and then at least powertrain and chassis will hopefully carry a little bit more of a boost into next year, rather than losing out too much from regulation changes, which is good. Or a good thing not to happen as such. Right. Alright, well, let's sit and hope. Energy store's the only thing that's really close. I think in the race we're going to see that probably push up into the 70s. Oh, we may not have to take another gearbox. My gearbox is looking alright. Let's see. 29% pre-race. So let's see where we're at after the race. How have I taken rear wing damage? Ugh. Not confident enough to take it out. The push coming out of the corners, really, but... Ah, balls. Because of that, we didn't have any DRS down there. So was that DRS failure then? Great. Hold on, don't want to lose anything at the back of the car here. Oh, there's a miss of gear. Oh. I think that was P10, which, all in all, with a damaged rear wing, or lack of DRS, I think that's pretty good going. Actually, that fills me with a bit more confidence for the race, actually. So we'll have to see. What turn one brings. So that's interesting. So we've got a 135.6. DRS was going to give us at least 2 tenths. So could have been pushing on P7, 8 or 9. Interesting. So we've actually got, I tell you what, great quality result from the McLarens. Lando in P6, Danny in P9. Ferrari dominant. Red Bull seems to be a bit behind on the pace. Certainly Leclerc, I mean, pulling out almost half a second, 4 tenths, 4 and a bit tenths on Verstappen. Russell very close to the back of Sainz as well, so Mercedes going well here. Hamilton not far off the back of Verstappen, and then Norris. Look at that. Hamilton had a 135.103 and Norris was a 109. So very close. In fact, Perez again a 166. So really, the top 6 really not all that far apart, other than the kind of bigger gap that that Leclerc managed to pull out of from God knows where. But interesting. So, okay, Christ, Alexander Albon up into P11. Oh, excuse me, yawning isn't coming. Don't know where that came from, but it happened. You saw it, you heard it. Looks like we've got a fairly decent gap though between ourselves in P10 and the rest of the field. So I think, you know, hopefully as long as we can maintain position or at least, you know, hold within a place or two, we should be fairly competitive this weekend. Jack a little further down where we ideally like him, but very much on target for what was expected from the quali sim. So I guess you can't really say too much about that. Interestingly enough, Yuki Tsunoda, I mean, he must have just had a bad qualifying because, yeah, 2 seconds off the pace. You know, down the bottom with the likes of Nicholas Latifi. It's not great. So I have to see what Tsunoda can do from there. Be interesting to see as well if this late on in the season, see, and of course Ricciardo beat us by 1 position as well, which isn't going to help us in our rival standings. So we're going to have to try and get past Ricciardo in the race to give us any chance, I think, of coming back and beating him. But yeah, interesting. It would be interesting to see as well if there's any position changes going into the race with people taking new parts components. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, see, Ricciardo's 13 to our 8. It is going to go to the end of the season, so you know, we'll have that at least, and we'll have to see what's the gearbox on now after quali. So yeah, we are going to need a new gearbox, but was it 26%, 27%? Well, we'll measure 30% going into the race, so we'll see how much stress the race causes to this, and the energy store as well. We'll have to just bear that all in mind. Because maybe we will get away with not needing a new gearbox. Certainly, I think, other than control electronics, I think we're going to need at least 1 more of everything else. Other than MG UK rather, we won't need another one of. But the other 2 should technically be good for another race, depending on how much wear there is here. So we might get, again, it's just whether or not... We don't want to be changing them going into Abu Dhabi. We'll just be putting ourselves far too far back to be in contention of any additional points, I think. And looking at the standings, we are... Yeah, we're not going to catch Alpine, so we're, you know, P5 and up is safe from us. What we really need to do, and again, to be honest, we're fighting for P6. We won't finish any lower than P7, I think. But yeah, it'd be nice to finish ahead of the Alphas for this race. So let's see what we can do. I didn't actually check where the Alphas were in the standings. We'll have to have a quick little look-see.
It's race day yet again.
I should have let it run through the standings really, so I could see who was where. Right, what's the race strategy? Fine, and we were going for a 20. Was it a 25-4? Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get rain unless it's right at the end of the race, but it will probably come too late to make an impact, I think. So let's see how we do. Got the formation lap now. Can we see? We can see in the race director. Let's just see who's where. So we're staying P10, and we're on the inside of the corner, which, I don't know, we've got to watch for the outside. If we get a crap start... Ooh. Usually, if we get a good start, we want to try and kind of drive up the middle, maybe push for the outside line if we can get it. If not, stay on the inside and turn in tight. Just avoid doing a George Russell into Carlos Sainz. Interesting, actually. It's I say it's not quite the same layout, but Russell's up there with Sainz. Obviously, Leclerc in real life had a grid penalty for a new engine parts, I think it was. So we'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, where are the Alphas? Got Bottas in 13th, and then Joe in 15th. Okay, so we've got some ground on them, but it's going to be, I think, predominantly down to where I finish in the race as opposed to our teammate.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want you to bog down.
It'd be great if we could jump Ricciardo. So you can get some overtaking round here if you hang it out wide, but then you either have to dive hard to the right, having kind of broken quite late but very heavy, and then kind of tuck in, or you have to commit to an inside line and brake hard and hope that the car on the outside gives you space. Going down to the hairpin, don't tend to see too many dive bombs down the inside. Then again, we've not had that kind of close enough racing here to really encourage it. Along here, obviously, good tow from DRS and yeah, slipstream from the car ahead. Obviously, trying to avoid a Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso type incident. Moving under, weaving on the straight. So, and then round here, to be fair, I have seen cars kind of pushing two through here. The way the racing line works is it does kind of push cars to the middle of the track, going through there. So there is an opportunity there. Around this corner, not really an overtaking spot, although Max Verstappen did overtake Kimi Räikkönen here back in, 2019? Which ultimately saw him actually driving off track to complete the move, and he got a penalty, so... And then I guess you can dive late down here, which I think Sebastian Vettel did, actually, for his. Oh crap, don't want to do that. Thank God there's no damage right here at the start. Yeah, we'll take green, that's fine.
Get a good launch as the lights go out.
Okay, well, fingers crossed, Formula 1 gods. Please just let's get off the line without too much wheel spin.
Charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
I think we've taken Ricciardo. We haven't. He's got us on the outside, but we've held position, which was good because we got a crap start off the line. We actually moved off the line quite well, but I was late shifting into second gear and then into third gear, which just meant that the cars coming by had a much better run, more acceleration. Or I need to stay off those curves there. Ooh, don't know what Albon did. Don't know if it was from me slowing up there, but he looked like he brake checked. Christ! Ricciardo dive bombing down the inside, going from P9 to P6. Great moves from Danny. Maybe he's been given a 10-second penalty for something again. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see, can the McLarens hold...
okay, we've held position on lap 1. That's not great, but it's not terrible.
Hold up under pressure from cars behind with perhaps a bit more straight line speed, or have they managed to close that deficit here? Christ, he got in front of Perez as well. All caught napping. He's dropped back one place. Who's that in front? Was that can't quite see. Ah! We lost the back end going around there because I deployed a bit of ERS. We'll take a flashback. Try and avoid anymore if we can. Christ, Albon's come back out of nowhere. Sorry mate, you can't come down there. Well, he's thinking about it. Christ! Where's the Williams getting this pace? We'll try and squeeze him on the inside and then dive to the outside. And then switch back. Oh, he closed off the top of the corner there for us, unfortunately, so we couldn't really go anywhere. Otherwise into the back of him, but... See how the Williams is in the straight line. We are gaining, but not enough. Will be DRS after this lap though, so perhaps we can do something with that.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Window. But it's like P5. Yeah, 5 to 9 on the softs. Ah! The car through there. Kind of felt it would see it. See the first jolt. It was here. Nope. Maybe it doesn't show up, but it was the first loss. Yeah. It doesn't really show it actually, it's interesting. Right, well. Annoyingly, because of that, and even with the flashback, we're kind of just dropped in behind Albon, just outside of DRS. But Ricciardo's having a great run though. He's stayed well ahead of Perez. He's dropped Alonso. He's pushing up onto the back of Verstappen, I think, now. So McLaren having a real late season attack early on in this race. Really need to try and stay with Albon though to be in with a chance to recover P10 and close up on the others. Christ, Yuki Tsunoda, absolute storming race so far then. If he started P21, we outbraked ourselves there.
Gap to the car ahead is 1.7 seconds.
Better.
Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
I don't think we're going to get there. I think it's going to come on the last lap, looking at the judging by the lap times and everything else. I mean, we'll push, but yeah, we are struggling on these tyres now that they're low grip. Slightly nervous about turning in the high-speed corners and just keeping the car on the road. Looking out there as well. They're going, Mark. Yeah, I mean, they're not looking great, are they? I really do with Albon coming in. Ahead of us as well when we pit, just so we're not dropping down too much, but get it in under the line as well, which is alright. I hope with anyone pitting. Interesting. So other teams hanging out for a lot longer, but we couldn't have gone any further and been competitive. So
we're delighted with that. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
I mean, we're at the back of the field at least, so we're not going to worry about anyone in front of us, or behind us, sorry, coming through. Just need to try and get the tyres warmed up as quickly as we can. Start putting in some good laps. It's our best lap so far, being a 1:39.4.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
I mean, we should easily clear the back of the field, which is good. Dependent on how much impact we can make.
Okay, Jack's coming in for his stop now.
A little wide, but I wanted to avoid kind of cutting in on Magnussen. Okay, now for lap to kind of try and make inroads though, because they're all going to be on cold tyres. And actually, you know what? I think we've actually gained a bit of time there. We're right on the back of Albon. who's obviously the car ahead as we pitted. Kind of bolted off there, but let's see if we can stay with him. Try and make a move on this new compound. Happens in. Christ, tumbling down the order. He had a bad pit stop or what, but you've actually made up a position in the pit stops. I think the cars ahead have actually stayed out. So we may still have something to say about it all. I don't know for sure. But they obviously didn't pit on my lap. Could have been that they pitted the lap that Albon pitted. I think we're just outside there. That's annoying. On DRS, but we should have it down the start-finish straight. Pulling out a nice gap though for the likes of Tsunoda behind us. A little lock up there though. Hasn't helped us. I think I just ran out onto the curb a little bit too much and it cost me under braking. See what the lap times are though. They've been coming down for us. Yeah, I think we hadn't had that mistake. Been alright, a little lock up under the brakes there, but we'll try and close up to Albon in this middle sector, this middle stint, middle part of sector 1 rather, S's. Just managing to stay ahead in that Williams. I'm going to reset that. That's a little mistake we didn't need to do. That will take it from behind the corner. Got to stay off these curbs. Probably stay off them if I'm going to put DRS down. I'll lose a little bit more battery now. There we go. Cars are starting to come off their best though, so we're going to keep pushing. It's either going to be a kind of stay close and push all the way to the end, or we need Albon to make a mistake in order for us to get that all important DRS and try and close him down. Fastest laps at the moment are 1:37. So we're a little ways off that yet as well.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Yeah, we're dropping time now. Come on. Up there, a bit too hard in the braking zone. Max Verstappen though, setting the fastest laps. I don't know where he is now though, and I don't know why he tumbled down the field so much, but
And gap to the car in front.
Wouldn't be surprised if he
8 seconds.
came through at some point.
Green flag.
Had yellow flags all of a sudden. Not sure what that was for. Must have been a car ahead,
Appears
but
to be an issue. We're currently investigating. Some information on Magnussen for you. They're retiring from the race.
okay, as long as it's not an issue on our car, that's fine. Albon's just pulled out quite a big gap. Oh, we're looking alright.
Looks like we're experiencing an ERS software glitch.
Oh. Okay, we've got ERS failure. That's fantastic. Okay, so I think chances are we're not going to be able to close down on.
So the issue seems to be fixed, but we'll keep monitoring it from our end.
Okay. Cheers, Mark. We'll see. Careful, sausage curbs. I was going to say, fortunately, it doesn't look like Tsunoda's made much of an inroad, but
To look after the tyres, we won't be making another pit stop. Wayne is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
yeah, it's going to come probably. If it's going to come early, it's going to do. It's going to come at the end on the last lap. But I think we might just be short of it. Clouds do look like they're a little greyer overhead now.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
That's good because we've got 3 laps left, Mark.
Okay, gap
Was doing
ahead
great
is
until the pit stop, pit
2.7
through
seconds.
box. Oh no! Sod's Law, Haxo. Where did you end up? I must admit, the first time it happened, I was like, "Oh wow, that's really cool." The level of detail they've added in for that, and at the same time, I was like, that screwed me over. Yeah, Albon's just running away in clean air. But Tsunoda's not really gaining much on me. P17 last lap. Had to dive down my rival Stroll. Nice, nice. There. Cannot get that corner right. Let's reset that. I knew I was a bit early there, but never mind. How the tyres looking? Yeah, they are looking a little shot now, though.
gap to the car in front is 3.4 seconds.
When we need penalty for Albon just to pop up. I tell you what, the McLarens have had a great race.
Monitoring somewhere on the internal
Looks
combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
excellent, excellent loss of power. Thanks, Mark, for brightening my day. Yeah, although fuel-wise, at least we were pretty much spot on there. A little
Okay, we've only
over,
got
but
one
well,
lap of fuel remaining.
actually got a little bit more than that, Mark, according to my readouts here in the car. Wah, wah, wah. That's better. It's only taken me a race to get the corner right.
Final lap of the race.
Ooh, thought about it for half a second. Look, we've made inroads. Haven't made inroads on Albon, but we've taken about a second out of Alonso ahead. But he's been battling with Ricciardo, so could well be that. Tell you what though, Ricciardo's done a great job though to hold P7. Because he was P9 at the start and he had that massive dive down the inside up into P6. And he must have just, you know, clung to it throughout the rest of the race, but good on him. Looks like it's going to be a good points haul for McLaren this weekend. Oh, stepping up there, a bit understeery. Oh. Oh, that'll do. We'll take that. 10th, we get a point. Happy with that. It's another point away from Alfa Romeo catching us up. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda, I think, had probably a well-deserved driver of the day there, coming up from 21st on the grid. To see what the standings look like after that.
Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I really feel the track layout, combined with the track temperatures we saw today, suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well.
They certainly do.
It just looks so comfortable up there.
Shit at any other temperature.
It always looks so easy.
How did we go on? It was Sainz. Okay, Sainz beat out Leclerc then for top spot. So what was the final grid? Wow, Russell. Okay, so yeah, Leclerc going backwards.
And their advantage at the top has been reduced.
Yeah, where did what happened to Christ? Yeah, Verstappen didn't even finish in the.
Tsunoda gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table.
So yeah, unfortunately Jack dropping right down. Interesting, Vettel getting a penalty. But yeah, Verstappen just way off. Oh, he had to take 2 stops. Okay, so I wonder if he must have got damaged then. So I wonder if that was the yellow flags we saw. Let's have a look at the racing director and see. What was our fastest lap? 1:38.7. So I don't think we quite beat. I think we dropped out at the end. But let's have a look. Oh, so interesting. Latifi collided with Tsunoda on the first lap. Why am I not surprised? Aiken collided with Gasly. Norris with Russell. Interesting. And Sainz with Leclerc. Christ, they were all up at the front there, just pushing their way through, weren't they? And Ferrari. Kevin Magnussen had a mechanical failure. Vettel ignoring yellow flags. Interesting. And then didn't serve the penalty at the end. So, yeah, had 5 seconds added on to his time. That's fine. Hamilton in my race did 2 stops. No idea if he took damage, though. He took Ferrari strategy. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that suggests it. So we'll have to see. When did, let's see, when did Verstappen... So lap 7. Oh, and a front wing. Right, so yeah, he must have had a collision. But so he went... Did he go medium, medium... Because they always change the tyres, right? So I guess he went medium, soft, soft. Let's see if we can see it in the highlights quickly. So Tsunoda started 20th. And Tsunoda, where does he come up? So he's stuck on the inside there. Yeah, I think it was just a bit of argy-bargy at the front. So we left Daniel room. He had the kind of better line going around the outside, able to kind of straighten the car up a bit sooner and kind of really make inroads there. But yeah, Albon was on the back of us all the way through there, just really, really quick. So Yuki actually made 3 places in basically the first 3 turns, which is impressive. And then so apparently that's it in terms of highlights. Oh, well done, game. Well done. Fantastic. Let's have a look at the replay then. It'd be interesting then to see. Yeah, so I think it's just a bit of wheel rubbing. This is Sainz on the inside here, and Leclerc just catching it. To be fair, he got lucky that he didn't get a. He was lucky he didn't get a puncture or cause a puncture for Sainz, really. Lando really coming in aggressive there, though, on the inside of the corner and having Russell there. I think, actually, yeah, I mean, Lando had a great dive up the inside. Okay, interesting. So Lando actually collided with the back of George first, who you could kind of see was making that move in, although I'd argue not really anywhere for Lando to go that tight in the braking zone. So he could have dived a bit further left, but probably ran the risk of colliding with a Ferrari there. So managed to push his way through there, and then briefly had a brief little look in at P2, and then just settles in behind. Russell then tight on the rear there, and then Verstappen's here. So let's sit on board with Verstappen and just see what happens to him. So he had his teammate right there, and look, and actually Ricciardo was that was where we had Ricciardo up to 6th. Did he actually dive down the inside? He did. Look, he pulled right out and took a massive lunge there. That's where he did it. The game needs a race start mode to learn. Yeah, I agree, Haxog. I don't understand why there's no. I mean, maybe we'll see that as an option coming soon, seeing as how much more manual choice you've got in the game. So this is where Hamilton dove down the inside of. Was that Hamilton or was that? It was Hamilton down the inside of Perez and Ricciardo, wasn't it? Yeah. That's where Ricciardo went back 1 spot, but that's fine. But yeah, agreed. I mean, maybe we'll get an option where in practice you can actually kind of go to the front of the pit lane and then do a practice start from there. I mean, even that would be fine. But to be fair, it would be nice to maybe have like mini practice modes, like practicing pit entry and pit exit, and turn-in for your best times, practicing race starts, practicing race restarts under a safety car. All of that would be really cool little like tutorial type game modes that you could have in to try and make things a bit more interesting and exciting. So actually, yeah, look, lap 2, Yuki was already up to P12, and this is when he was right on the back of us, and we were kind of having to try and hope that these softs were gonna last out. Let's skip forward though in time while we're on board with Max. I just want to see what happened. Because for him to go that far back and there not be a safety car, I think is quite surprising, really. But I don't know where he would have picked that damage up. And there was no collision warning as well, which is weird. So unless he went off the track and made a mistake. Let's see what happens. It's a shame there's not like a go to lap. Oh, there is. Ha! I say it's a shame there's not like go to the next lap, but there is. It's the shifters. So let's keep going through. So here we go, lap 7. So we'll just wind through the lap and just have a quick look here to see. As far as I can tell, his front wing looks intact. Yeah, both end plates look good. Tell you what's on my fun and practice. I'll have a look in a sec, Haxo. So he looks all right here, and he's close on the back of all the cars ahead. So let's see what happens to him. He's nice and close to the back of Russell, and then they all dive into the pits. Other than, oh no, sorry, it's just that's interesting. So we've got the likes of Leclerc and Verstappen coming in, but yeah, the front wing's fine there. But do they change it here? No, they don't change it here. Was that slow? That looks alright. So he came out quite a long way behind the Ferrari, and he's still got Hamilton in front of him. Oh, so actually, in fact, Hamilton has jumped him in the pit stop, and then Ricciardo's right on his backside. So what happens to Max? Front wing still good there. I'm trying to remember when these yellow flags were, which I guess was Max. Was that like lap 9, maybe? 9 or 10? Oh. Is that a move there that he was trying to make on? Oh, yeah, there it is. So, oh dear. So it was actually Hamilton going wide, and he actually clipped Hamilton and lost his end plate. Does he dive straight into the pits? He does. Interesting. So, wow, was it really that bad? Damn it. I mean, it's an end plate, but... Here we have Hamilton, who, to be fair, yeah, bloody Nicholas Latifi causing problems again. It was actually Latifi going very slow around this corner that threw Hamilton out wide to try and avoid running into the back of him. And we actually just see, if we look here on board, we'll see the closing speed here. Hamilton was gaining so much through the middle of the corner on those fresh tyres, and he had to kind of dive out, and then had Max kind of dive into the side of him. I would say it's just an unfortunate aspect of where the corner's coming in. Hamilton's on a hard lock. Verstappen coming through had much more pace, so you could possibly say that was Hamilton's fault for an unsafe return to track. I mean, Max isn't at full throttle through there, and he actually, I don't know if he shifts gear or if it's just a little bit of change in acceleration, but you can kind of see what's going to happen in front, I guess. There is space on the inside. I guess that's why we didn't see anything in the race director for it, but yeah, interesting that he dives straight into the pits, and then that's basically his race. So... Interesting. Let's have a look at what Haxo sent me. So yeah, unfortunately, we finished the race. We did not finish in front of Daniel. I think Daniel has probably got this one in the bag. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so, I mean, Tsunoda pushed you right out wide there. I mean, you had your wheel, I'd imagine, alongside him at one point there. I'm not sure he needed to drive you off track like that, but it does irk me like that, because they'll cut in front of you and then obviously slam the brakes on to make the corner, and that puts you off completely. Or even if you're braking at the correct point,
that ERS failure must have been super infuriating. We should focus on upgrades to our powertrain.
It was infuriating.
That should help reduce the likelihood of faults like these popping up again.
But Yeah, you'll lose downforce being that close to the car in front, especially when they're braking. And it throws you off. But it's not really a move that you see happen. Not the AI in the game do it very vigorously. Now, the part of that could be down to just how the animations are working in the game, and it makes it seem like, I guess, a bit over the top compared to what we see in real life. But yeah, in real life, you don't see quite that level of, there has to be space left, and equally the driver kind of pushing there is often off the racing line anyway, and has to take a different line through. So actually, it's better for them to then stay a little bit tighter to the inside of the corner, to guard from you as well. Because if they do leave you space, you've got a safe space to travel through on the outside. And it feels like the AI, again, they've definitely made them more aggressive, and it's good to see in certain things. But I think from everyone's perspective, probably the general consensus is that they're perhaps a little bit too quick to go kind of argy-bargy against people and get their elbows out, and perhaps push you off where you just wouldn't see that otherwise. Interestingly, we've got a sponsorship renewal, but do we need to do anything now? Let's renew it anyway. It is the elephant. Peoples. The elephant logo company. What about? Yeah, ERS full. Reducing chance of ERS spike. Okay, so we've received some R&D points because of that. The problem area has been plaguing us for months now. Should feel okay. Well, good, I guess. Does that actually mean we can do something in R&D though? It does, but it's not on what they would want it to be on. But we've still got 4 parts at risk, so I think let's just get as many of these done as possible. Because then they're protected for next year. That was in practice too. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure it's necessary, considering that I know in real life, racing in you do get incidents in practice, which do happen. But considering that the way in which the game works at the moment, there isn't the way the penalties work and everything else. It doesn't really translate from the different types of session, i.e., practice, qualifying, race, like it would do in real life. So I'm not sure there's a need to have that kind of behaviour from the AI in practice. I don't know. I mean, I guess on one hand, it's good to see them behave as realistically as possible, or as close, certainly, to race condition as possible. But equally, there's another set of rules in practice sessions as well. You're not supposed to be racing other cars. You are supposed to give them room, and it's common courtesy to move out the way of a car that's doing higher speed practice lap runs. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll start to see that behavior come in over time, over the next couple of games. We'll see. Right, we're off to the Mexican Grand Prix next, so we'll see if we can get that in this evening as well. I'm going to pop to the loo real quick and get some water, so we will be right back. I'll leave the chair in charge of everyone, so the chair will keep its eyes out for you. I'll be right back. Okay. Into the chair. Big cross. I can't remember what cross is in this. That's right. Let's see what we can do here in Mexico. I feel like it's a shame that they've not like adapted the F1 intro music in the game here to the kind of Mexican rendition that they play on TV and everything else, which is super cool. Got a some sort of zip ties. So my pedals. Awesome. Oh, good. My brake force is now on 40. Oh, decent. Excellent. Yeah, see, I cannot go any higher than 30, otherwise I'm pushing myself back across the room, so that's really good. I think most people, from what I've read, I think unless you're on like a full metal bolted to the floor kind of, or stabilized to the floor rig, most people end up working their way up to somewhere between 50 and 70. I think they tend to find that as like a comfortable zone. So that's really good if you've been able to get those zip tied on and more stable, which is great because you just get better feel back from the pedals, and again having more confidence in the pedals, accelerate sooner, brake later, and just have a bit more fun. Really, that's awesome, Haxo. Nice one, excellent stuff. Right, what we're gonna do here? Navigate through. Oh, this is through the gates. Oh god, right, yeah. Still don't know why it drops out to... Drops from first gear as soon as it starts these, but... Oh, it's unstable! It was under 100 miles an hour as well. But then again, we are asking it to do a slalom, which... Missed that one. Slow down, not hit as many cones. Might have to redo this one. Oh, lock up. Gate hit. McLaren's wide as well. It's a real wide boy. Oh, I was never going to make that, was I? No. Okay, on we go. Trying to cut the inside of that one a bit too much. I'm not going to hit that straight on. It's not going well. We're hitting cones. It's Cone Simulator. Right, we're well above gold already. I think we might be lucky if we get bronze here. Oh, drifting. Mega drift. Yeah, we might not even get bronze here. Christ, it's just got no grip. Jesus Christ, that was awful. All three bolts it, and nice. Get a wheel mount thing still works, but I'll ask my dad if I can borrow his drill. Oh, nice, yeah. Get all three bolts in, sorry, right, got you. Yeah. No, definitely, I think the more you can put in and the tighter you can get it clamped on there, just the more you'll be, well, one, you'll feel a bit of peace of mind about like chucking the wheel harder into corners and things, which will help. But equally, you can... Oh, I didn't even get any of them. Christ. Right, so we had 6 gate hits, which was the cost us 30 seconds, and 4 miss, which was plus 40 seconds. So is that... Yeah, so Wait, so is that saying overall we've been penalised 50 seconds... sorry, a minute and 10? Because if that's the case, we'd be gold. I didn't mean to hit advance. I meant to hit restart. Oh, okay. Never mind, it's fine. It's the end of the season. We don't need to claim. People know who we are.
Unlucky with the ERS glitch last weekend.
F indeed. What a fuck up. Yeah, no, that'd be good. Let me know when you've got it all kind of bolted in and such, because I think that will make a difference as well. Hopefully that just adds to it all. Okay, so it should be safe from rain, which is all good. I need to go back into that menu. I hate that when it doesn't go back out to the main. Right, let's go to track. We'll see how quickly we can go through practice. And then, yeah, on to quality. I have a love-hate relationship with Mexico. If you, again, another track that, with its technical sections, if you do not hit them just right and get the flow in...
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts on the car, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
Playing ball with my t-shirt. There we go. Yeah, you just get thrown wide, and I suspect with this car, because of how much of a brick it is, it may be difficult to actually place the car in the right spot to do this. But we'll see. Let's see. We'll do a compensation. It's through here, and then left in 6th gear still.
Right, try to nail as many corner gates as you can. The
I'll try.
through each corner, the higher the score. You'll need to deploy your
Christ.
DRS in the
What happened
DRS
there?
zone as well.
Nothing happened in the braking. I did a race here over the weekend at Mexico. A couple of online races, and had some good fighting around here. I know what the car should feel like going around here, but let's see.
We're approaching the DRS zone. Watch your MFD for the activation point.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Getting the grip down. Spain was annoying. Flying that dumps you right into the braking zone after this. Yeah. I still think like where it chucks you out on some of these flying laps or practice program laps is not right. In terms of giving the player a fair chance to actually control the car.
Distance is on your MFD.
Let's go there. I say this corner saw plenty of action in the race on Sunday. Had the Ricciardo going into Tsunoda just there. I think he made another similar move on Ocon. I just don't want the car to be too twitchy coming through that S as I change gear, because that's going to be where I fall foul and go wide and spin. Or just got in on that.
Great stuff, mate. You've pretty much nailed this circuit. This is a really strong foundation to build from over the course of the weekend.
It looks like we absolutely smashed that first program, which is good. And then auto pit mode is downright awful. So, yeah. Ooh, okay. Well, we got the 2 resource point awards. So that's fine. We didn't get any of the others, but that's fine. Let's do a race strategy now. Then we'll keep the same mediums, I think, because they're we've only taken 3 laps out of them. We did that quite quickly, so let's do that, and then.
Okay, we need a few solid laps here to help us calculate a good race strategy.
We'll move on to quali, and then I think, if that's okay, we'll use practice 2 and 3 just to finish. Finishes off, get the most points. What do I want? A 121.5. I think that should be doable. A little wide there, didn't slow the car down quite enough. Right, we've got the DRS there, so that's all good. Oh, lock up. Nope, we're alright. Go around the corner here. Pause that because... Hey, BR, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub for 27 months. Thank you. How's your evening going, guys? Did you D&D in the end, or did you do something else instead? I thought I saw a message about Lavena's headphones giving up the ghost, so perhaps not this evening. Who needs development boost anyway? Exactly, Haxo, exactly. Love to have more confidence on that bit of curve there. In real life, they kind of straddle it, and it looks amazing. But every time I touch it with the car, it feels like the car's going to spin. If I put any more of it over that way, oh, that was a bit too tight. I think I've lost the lap because of that. Yeah, just. They did it in the end, just chilled out a little bit on New World. Lovely stuff. He means a lot on New World. Fair enough, fair enough. That's alright. There we go, that's better. Oh yeah, see, that's what happens if you don't quite get the curve quite right. It catches one of the wheels and throws you out, and then you're all out of shape for the next couple of corners, which is what scares me more. And I kind of feel like, ooh, locked up a little bit there. Kind of feel like I'd probably just be better losing a bit of speed earlier and then making it up coming out of the corners. Oh, it's tight. I think I've lost it again there. Let's drop that back a bit. I mean, my gear score is now 557 and season coming on nicely, so excellent. Still lost too much time at Christ. Need to make more of a buffer in this first and second sector, really. Making a meal of it in the end of the second, start of the third. Better. There we go. Taking a bit more on that second curb. It seems to flow a bit better, which is alright. But yeah, we've got a second now. Should be enough with our buffer. Even if we do cock it up in this final sector. Oh, sorry, we kept it. Nice, okay. Oh, better, right, so 2 more decent laps. How the tyres looking? Yeah, it's alright. So-so. How's the engine looking? So-so. Squeaky bum time indeed, Axo. But I think got it now. At least in this car compared to the others, you know, where we can try and place it on track a bit more. Ooh. We started wanting to slide though there. I think we've got enough in the bag though. Yeah. Quite as much of an overhead as last time, but still decent times. I don't know. I think we'll probably get just the 30 points. Oh no, we have got 30 points, so we might get. If we can get a decent one here, we'll get the 50. This is early rather than hitting DRS, don't know. I think we've got it. It's one of the few tracks where the racing line is actually off the track in quite a few places. And you know, you've got to get your car straddling the ripple strips here at the side, but considering that normally you're just going to get track limits and lap times deleted, it's quite a weird target to aim for in comparison. Oh, just made it. There we go. We got optimal in the end, so that's fine. And I think the only one left to do is quality pace. We'll use FP2, FP3 to do the in between ones, and then go on to quali and race. Let's see what we can do here. Very much Fantic flashes more in sync with the in-game car, mainly the side light things and the yeah. That it's weird because as well, if you use the FanaLab software, they have their own. They have different LED like profiles, but I don't find it matches up quite as well as what we get just out of the default hardware reading, and what the game matches to it. But I know you can get additional lighting and additional like color coding that will also kind of correspond to lap time delta colors as well. So maybe that would do it, but I did try it briefly, but I couldn't get it quite to work as well. As I say, it was when it was using the FanaLab kind of profile, it seemed to the rev indicator lights didn't seem to be working in quite the right way, but that may have been more of a game problem than anything else. Bit too much curve there, but I think we're alright. I want a 118.7. Let's see. It'll lock up on the outside or front left there. Not a lot of overhead here, so really need to keep it tidy through here and into the final sector. Oh, I think we just managed to keep it in limits there, which is good. Perfect final sector here. Underneath the time, we've made it up. Lost it on the final bit. Let's go back out. Go back out and do that there. Saw a TikTok today of a guy reviewing a wheel with all the tyre temp, tyre deg, MFD. Yeah, so that's the Is it the SimCube one? I think that was GB. Is it GB86? He's on Twitch. I think I watched one of his streams the other week. He's just got that wheel. I think it's a SimCube wheel. But yeah, that looks really, really nice. The only thing is, I mean, I don't know. I guess because I mean, technically, if I was sat maybe a bit lower, in my seat and with the wheel up in front of me, that would probably be easiest to look at. Which is, I get really where you want the kind of driving position, but this is about as low as I can go with this at the moment. But I'm finding because my screen is more in line with my eye line, I have to look down to my wheel. So I mean, these Fanatec wheels just have obviously the rev counter lights, and then they have the speed. And unless you're in one of the menus to fiddle with things, which we don't really need to do during a race, you know, you can use the buttons and the control knobs to change certain things, but that's probably, you know, all you'll need on it. But I think, yeah, unless hopefully one day once I can actually get this onto an actual rig itself and have it mounted up where it should be, I think probably then that's when a screen would come in handy. It definitely looks really, really cool. Definitely, you know, jealous of how it looks. That looks amazing. But I think for now, just, you know, I'll just practice not spinning. It's all right. We have got another set of softs, so let's do that. I think we'll have enough for one, maybe two. I think maybe just one attempt. See what we can do. We can build a bit more of a gap in this first sector, which is where we fell over a little bit, and I think we'll be alright. I think I was pushing the the limits of track, the limit of track limits there though. I've gone wide there. Oh, we're going to need a bit of a miracle. Last corner.
Well, program over, but that wasn't much help to us, I'm afraid.
Nah, I can't quite get there. That's fine. We'll complete it off in free practice, go into quali and the race, and just move on. Just a little bit unstable, just trying to get the power down coming out of the corners. I probably need to drop the diff a little bit further, but that's fine. Let's clear this session off. We'll round the rest of them off in free practice
It's time to remind ourselves of
sessions.
our top
I mean, it's
three,
still not bad
who
considering
are
we're up there.
Leclerc, Norris,
I know,
and
again, the
George
times in free practice aren't necessarily fully representational of full pace, but I think it's better for us to be higher up there than it is to be right at the back. So we shall see. Right, free practice. Let's just blast through these for the resource points, and yeah, on to the fun stuff. So we are 7th overall in the constructors, which is good. The teams in front of us have all kind of driven away with it and outscored us by quite a significant amount. So we can't do any more to catch Alpine, which I think are in 6th. But we've been fighting with Alfa Romeo, who I think on the last race had 23 points and we had 28, and we scored in the points last race. That we can have a look now. So I think we're still 1 point. Yeah, we're 29. They're 23. So, oh sorry, we're 6th. So yeah, we were fighting between 6th and 7th. So yeah, the grid of 11 entrants. I think, you know, for our first season, bearing in mind the car is awful to start with. It's not bad going to be finishing, P6. Obviously, much like in real life, there's quite a large disparity in constructors' points and in driver points overall in terms of how they've spread out from the top. With the likes of, the only difference here is that Ferrari are still within, are still leading the Constructors' Championship, although by only 1 point. So this is crucial that Ferrari outscore Red Bull in these last few races. Which is really, be exciting then for them. Mercedes, doing well where they are, and then McLaren again, a little different to real life. They've kind of pulled right away from the likes of Alpine to secure that 4th place spot, and of course Alpine with 124 points, just that little bit further up the road, really, just with better, more consistent point finishes for them. But we've had some good races earlier in the season, so you'd think we should do Plan X. Yeah, exactly. If Ferrari do Plan X, then they'll definitely be losing the constructors' standings for sure. And the great Pickle Force, not even in the standings. You represent us well, Captain. Not even in the standings. We're in the standings. We're in the standings right here. We're 6th at the moment, which is great, considering we entered as a new team and should be last. But actually, to be fair, I don't know what's happened with Aston Martin. They've just had a really, really poor year, not scoring any. But I'll be very happy if we can hold on to 6th place in the constructors for the first season, which is good. 125th for 5th and 29 for 6th. Not even the standings for 5th, yeah, sure, but we've got the worst car on the grid. Daddy's money has gone to the waste bin then. Exactly, BR, yeah. It's an interesting layout for it, but overall, not bad with that. And again, like in the drivers' championship as well, to have 29 points. I mean, unfortunately, our teammate has scored no points. It's been all down to us, but not unheard of. I mean, it's interesting. I'm just having a look at the real world standing points at the moment for comparison. So you've got Red Bull have obviously won the drivers and constructors championship, who this year scored, or so far have scored, 696 points. Ferrari have scored 487. Mercedes 447. Alpine currently in 4th, who've scored 153, but with the stellar performance from Daniel Ricciardo in Mexico, McLaren have closed the gap. They now have 146 points, so they're they're only 7 points behind Alpine at the moment in the constructors to finish 4th, which would be great for McLaren this year if they can do that. And this is where again I think things balance out. So 6th place in real life is Alfa Romeo, but they only have 53 points. I know we're a bit further down from that, but yeah, they only have 53 points. Aston Martin only have 49 points. Haas have 36. AlphaTauri have 35, and Williams have 8. So I think looking at the spread of things there, it's not bad. It's not too far off being realistic. The drivers, if we look at, and again, actually, drivers isn't too bad. So Sebastian Vettel is currently in 11th place in real-world Formula 1 with 36 points, and Daniel Ricciardo in 12th with 35. So quite close with those two. And we're on 29 in 11th. So I don't think that's too bad. I think we're close. I think we're close enough to be accurate in real life. But I mean, this is what happens. Outside of the kind of top 5 teams, you do then get quite a substantial gap because 10th place is only 1 point, 9th place is only 2 points, and there's just so few points up for grabs that unless you're finishing in the top 5 consistently, you're not getting the points. And if we look at the finish, I mean, Max Verstappen's had this year, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins so far, and our best finish was a 4th. But we've had a 19th, 22nd, 20th, 18th, 9th at Spain, which was a good race for us. 21st, 18th, 20th, 4th at Silverstone, fantastic race, our best result of the season. 17th, 20th, 6th, 16th. We got unlucky in the Netherlands. You can actually see we got the fastest lap. It's the only one we've had all season. But we were on track actually to score quite high up in the points. We got clipped and spun, and we ended up pitting towards the end, and then again just going for the fastest lap to take a point away from the top 10. Then we had an 8th in Italy, in Monza, which was good because it was just showing how competitive in a straight line we could be. Although that seems to have fallen off now in the latter half of the season, unfortunately. Then a 17th, a 9th, and a 10th. So overall, I think we've had some good results. I think our teammate is on the way out. Now, time he rigged the car, probably. Wanted his fellow Dutchman to win instead. That's fair. It's fair. I can understand that. I'll let him off. But yeah, I think unfortunately our teammate will not be renewing with us for the 2023 season. We'll find someone else to fill this because we need, in order to get ourselves further up and again get more prize money and be in with a chance that perhaps in season 3 or 4 to be actually fighting for the win, drivers and constructors, we need someone to start helping us build more points, get more prize money, and we can't really do that with a young development driver at this point in the game where our car is just not performing fast enough to just be able to drop perhaps a slightly slower driver into it and yet still yield good results. But yeah, I mean, nice for McLaren, but they look like they need more time in the aero tunnel, which, if I'm correct, I understand they'll get low. Yeah, exactly. So, so this is it, right? It's especially at this point in the season, it does depend. Especially and equally, like next year, the cost cap is being reduced further, so it'll be really interesting next year to see. Again, for a team like McLaren, does a couple extra. However much more they'd get for 4th place or 5th place in the constructors, would that benefit them more than the extra wind tunnel time or not? Difficult to know. It based on what the driver feedback has been like so far, it feels like it might be, as you say, it might be more beneficial for it might be more beneficial for them to actually have the more wind tunnel time. So. Who knows? It might almost be beneficial for them to finish behind Alpine. We'll have to wait and see. Unlucky Red Bull. Well, yeah. I mean, I think regardless, they had to be penalised, or that they had to receive a penalty for something. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much impact it will have. I think that Christian Horner so far said it could have up to, I think, was it 2.5, 3/10 maybe a lap of impact on them for next year. So we'll see. I mean, they've had a very fast car this year, no doubt about it. But we'll have to wait and see what that looks like at the end. I think, just looking at engine parts as well, I might put a new engine store on now. Oh, we're going to get a penalty for it, aren't we? Is that worth it now? Because if we're going to have to take new parts, the rest of them can do this race. And gearbox, I think, might actually make it to the end of the year. The turbo will have to change next, and we're going to have to change the ICE after a while. We might get away with the MG UH. We'll definitely get away with MG UK. Do we do this now? Well, let's see what the wear is after P3, if at all. Dinner done. Back to New World. Maybe people will still take my stuff. Take the penalty. Rules couldn't stop you. Yeah, I think we should. I think it makes sense now. If we're gonna end up at the back of the grid, then so be it. Let's. It just means that again for the last 2 races we've Brazil and Abu Dhabi, both of which are tracks that I like, and I feel like our car should do well there. Probably will possibly do better at Abu Dhabi. Just because I think some of the medium and slower corners in Brazil will struggle with a bit more, but more aero time won't be that bad as the aero changes isn't much, just front wing change and new project. Yeah, I mean this is it. We'll see, and this is where I think there could be more backlash essentially from other teams if they don't feel that the wind tunnel the time reduction penalty that Red Bull have been given is sufficient. But I guess only time will tell. What will be interesting is to see whether or not this is still enough to put people off or other teams off. Because whilst it might put the likes of, say, Ferrari and Mercedes, who are obviously also at the top of the field and obviously want to preserve as much wind tunnel time as possible, potentially teams like Alpine, McLaren, even maybe Aston Martin, who are going to get more wind tunnel time anyway and have money to use, may go, well, you know what, a 7 million fine is pocket change to us really in the grand scheme of things when you think that the cost cap this year is $145 million, I think, and next year is going to be $136 million. It's a slight reduction next year. Maybe one of them will go, you know what, screw it, we're going to overspend and see what we can do, but we'll see. I didn't change the part over. Can do it in qualifying. We'll see how long it takes. Okay. 10 place grid penalty, nice. I don't think it's going to matter what we do, because I don't think we're going to get a P10 or above here. According to that split, we're half a second slower than the Ferraris in P1. That was a horrible corner. Well, that's alright. If we're at the back of the grid to serve our penalty, then it won't matter too much. 21st. So is that with a 10 place grid drop? Because that, if so, it means we were quicker than I thought.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Sainz, Russell, and Charles
not, you know what? Not far off what the qualifying was in real life.
Be sure to join us then.
How have we managed? Oh no, we've still got a 10. I think it's then applying. Yeah, it's applying that on top. Yeah, and we weren't going to get an 18.2, I don't think, with the car. So that's fine. Alpine and Ferrari need to work on reliability. Mercedes are close to being back to winners, I think, which will happen next. Yeah, I think Mercedes will. I think Mercedes know exactly what they need to do next year to get back to winning races. Plus, that it's their engine. There'll no doubt be tweaks and changes they can make to even under the new regulations that they can make to their engine next year, which will then help the likes of McLaren. It's McLaren and Williams, isn't it?
So,
that are using.
Unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back.
McLaren and Williams are using Mercedes engines, aren't they? So I think that will help overall. Yeah, Ferrari to start with had one of the most reliable and most powerful engine outlays, but engine power has been good. I think it's probably not quite kept up with general development of pace of other teams around them throughout the season, so they need to work on that and overall reliability. But otherwise, I think they're probably in quite good shape overall if they can sort their bloody strategy calls out. Alpine, yeah, I think again they just need to sort out the little gremlins that they've got in their side of the garage, but on their garage. But I think that they'll be all right. Red Bull will compete for sure, but I don't see much changing with the teams up top. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's yeah. I couldn't remember if Aston Martin was, but yeah, it makes sense that they would be. So again, yeah, Aston Martin may see a pickup from a Mercedes Works engine as well. We'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect like Aston Martin next year to be a top 4 team or top 5 team. I think they're going to probably stay close to where they are at the moment. Perhaps maybe pushing onto the back of AlphaTauri a little bit more and Alfa Romeo, but we'll see. It would be nice to see McLaren again having a little bit more pace, because I feel like, based on how high Lando's qualified in some races,
well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate,
and certainly during the race, well, both him and Daniel, I think they've both shown a good amount of racecraft that shows that they can overtake if the conditions are right. But overall, I think it makes it difficult for them trying to get much more out of the car in the current format. I think you could probably say the same about the likes of I like the likes of Aston Martin as well, and Alpine. But yeah, we'll see what happens next year. It'll be interesting. We get not too much changing next year. There'll be some reg changes in 2024, and then it'll be 2024, 2025, and then again there'll be further changes coming into 2026 when we get Audi also coming in and taking over Alfa Romeo. So that will be interesting to see what they do there. Let's bring the car fuel down a bit. Won't do too much because it's probably a bit of a hungry site here with it being that much higher. We're going to change things around though and see if we can change the stint round a little bit. Yeah, that one. Go. See what we can do. Hope Audi are building the right type of engine. I think they'll be alright. I think they get given enough.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap, please.
Ooh.
We're learning the gears, so let's go.
I think they get given enough instruction from the FIA in terms of what the engine has to meet for them to know that it's not a 2-litre turbo for the back of a Golf. But who knows? It would be pretty funny if they ended up doing something a bit funny.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
It will be interesting though to see what teams or other teams, if any, in 2026 decide to take an Audi engine. But of course, at the moment, Alfa Romeo are using Ferrari engines. We've got a teammate in front of us here. It'll be interesting. It's interesting to see if anyone takes the gamble in their first year to see how they perform. Because of course, got to remember, you know, could be history repeating itself to some degree. You know, you've only got to look back at teams like Brawn GP, who were only in Formula 1 for one season before being bought up by and becoming the Mercedes team, but they won a world championship and were highly dominant throughout and innovative. Thank you. In their season, so my tyres are too cold, but never mind. Words indeed. Big gamble, and it's supposed to be engine rotation. Yeah, exactly. So this will be it. I mean, to be fair, Audi are in the best possible place because they will, as a new team entrant, they will get like a. It's not quite an advanced copy of the regulation changes ahead of the other teams, but they will get some forewarning of what they need to be preparing themselves for, because effectively they've got 3.5 years now to get themselves, or less, to get themselves prepared to enter Formula 1 with certain facilities and everything else. So they'll get some additional notice of what they need to be kind of aiming for. But obviously, yeah, with the changes that come in, it will be interesting to see, just how performant they can make their first engine.
Monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine.
Of course you are.
That we're going to start to see a loss of
power. A little bit of wear at a little bit of wheel spin at the front. We need to try and warm up the tyres a bit more. We're not going to be fighting anyone into the corners. Although, our teammate's going to leave us a gap. And push out a little wide there. Is that the Williams of Goatee feet? It probably is. Someone's lost the front wing or an end plate. I want to stay away from this Williams, I don't trust it. Go around the outside. Okay.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Well, it was, but we were all out of shape through that corner there, and Latifi's right back on us. And we've locked up there. Down on Latifi a little bit. Taking a little bit of side pod damage by the looks of things. Should be okay. Yeah, it's the inside of that corner. Oh. Crap, let's try again. Much better.
The underbody's taking a little damage, just watch out for it.
Yeah, these curves are a bit of a nightmare. Again, there are just parts of this track where you really do just have to take to the curbs or straddle them. But get it wrong and it doesn't help.
Car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind.
Oh Christ, who's that? Oh bloody hell! What happened to Sainz? Must have had a proper spill somewhere. I didn't see any yellow flags. I saw the end plate coming off. I wonder if he just had front wing damage and decided to box. Oh, so he's going to be on the hards now, I guess, to the end of the race. Once we get another safety car, but...
DRS is being enabled
Cool.
this lap. With used DRS,
17
you'll
laps.
1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
It's going to be painful for him. You don't hit your side pods, yeah, if only. Do have a nice little train here though, so at least that's the corner I want to avoid. It's just so difficult. What do the other cars do? Have a look. They still get on it, you know, not quite as much as I did, but I broke far too late for that corner now. Lost time there. But...
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage.
It will
Nothing
do.
too serious at the
These
moment.
curbs are
Just be
awful.
careful.
And at least we're able to stay with them. I mean, we are on the medium tyre as well, actually, so... all these guys ahead of us are on softs. Looking at DRS now on the Latifi though, but he's in a DRS train. He's actually pulling away from us slightly. Not a lot we can do. Burnt through most of my ERS, so have to see. If we can just creep up to the back of him. Take a little less curve. It's going to be interesting. I've quite a bit of wear on these mediums already, so I can't imagine these softs are going to be particularly fun.
You're dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second.
It's got a Ferrari engine though. He's going to be quicker, even on the hard tyres. What do you want me to do, Mark? Other than go faster. Just put my foot down ever so slightly too soon. I was looking for a nice little corner there, actually. We won't do it now. I think probably all we can do is hope that we can stay within DRS range of the cars ahead in this train and just get again a couple more laps in under our belts when they all have to pit, or as their softs start to fade maybe we'll be able to come back at them a bit more, but at the moment don't have enough straight line speed to do too much on the straights with DRS. And if we're going to burn through our battery there, we can only do it once.